snapped on Friday at the hands of the DC Breeze. The Rush showed flashes on Friday, but a rough start to the fourth quarter extinguished any and all hopes of a comeback. And for the Glory, it's been smooth sailing all season. 4 games, 4 wins, and the team looks poised to make another deep run. Adam Hunt here alongside Theo Wan, and we'll hear from our sideline reporter Wenny Wang shortly. But first, we'll take a look at the home side, the Rush, currently outside looking in of the East Division playoff picture, and they draw into quite the test today against the defending champs, Theo.
They came into the last matchup with DC holding the 3rd spot. As you mentioned, they are now holding the 4th spot, 3-2. DC picked up another win over Montreal yesterday as well, so they're up to 5-2. This would go a long way into solidifying some playoff position and even make the playoffs. This would be the first time for Toronto since 2019. You see the Empire and Glory hovering near the top. The Glory and Empire have a big game coming up next weekend on Friday Night Frisbee as well. So the East Division standings, we're kind of midway through the season-ish, and the real standings are starting to take shape.
Rush currently 2 games back of the Breeze, but could take a step in the right direction today if they're to take one off of the defending champion, Boston Glory. And of course, there's plenty of stars on the Boston Glory sideline and in the sky. The sun is shining. Wind was a massive factor on Friday. And for today, we'll take a quick look as we see 15 miles an hour for the wind today. Certainly nearly about half of what it was on Friday, but still could play a factor. And once again, looking at the Boston sideline, one of the biggest names that has made a name for himself this season has been Lander DeCrana, and he caught up with our sideline reporter Wenny Wang just moments ago.
We're here with Lander DeCrana from the Boston Glory. Lander, before we get into anything, I've noticed that you actually go by another name sometimes, Shadow Boy. Can you tell us a little bit about the story behind that?
When I was playing in Europe, there's this coach in Italy called Davide, and he came to me once at a tournament, and he said, Lander, when are you finally getting out of the shadow of your brother, you shadow boy? I thought that was pretty funny, so I kind of adopted it as motivation or just as a funny joke, I guess.
No, that's amazing, and I've seen that you are now out of the shadow and you have a name for yourself, and we're so excited to see you play tonight. And speaking of playing, alongside the UFA League, you've also played and represented Belgium in the World Championships as well as Gentle Ultimate. Is there any specific plays you're bringing from those experiences here into Boston system?
I don't know if I'm bringing specific plays. I'm definitely bringing my own defensive and offensive skill set, but I'm trying to fit that into the system here. Obviously playing a lot of high-level games with the national team and with Gentle on club level definitely prepared me for this stage to be here. So I'll be taking all that experience here and trying to make the best of it, of course.
That's awesome. We're so excited to see you play tonight as well. And our final question is, now joining Boston this year, you're playing with a lot of familiar faces, but notably your brother, Toby DeCrana. So we want to know, how's sharing the field with him this year, as well as how's that affecting your performance?
Playing with him is fun, always. We've been doing it our whole lives. It's too bad we're on different lines. It's just how it became, I guess. But it's fun to be there next to each other, next to the field. We're training together, living together again. So that's just really fun to see him again, yeah.
For sure, we're looking forward to that as well. Well, Lander, that's all our questions for tonight. Welcome to Toronto, and we can't wait to see you play. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Casting a shadow of his own now is Lander DeCrana. 9 blocks on the season, leads the Boston Glory, and not to mention 8 assists rather, and 5 goals. Theo, what is it about him that makes him so effective on a weekly basis?
I mean, you got to look at the height first and foremost. He got some big height. He's got big pulls as well. Someone that can do it on both sides of the disc. And he had the breakout game last weekend. I mean, Boston, everyone's getting stats. They won 28-11 against Philadelphia, but he had 6 assists, a goal, and 2 blocks. So we're looking to add a few more of those here today as he comes out on the pitch and even jumps over the bench to get ready. So you know he's pumped. Everyone else is going around. He decides to jump over the team bench.
Plenty of bounce for the aerial assassin, Lander de Krana. And looking to the Toronto sideline, one of the standout stories through the early going of the season has been Spencer Dillon. And Wenny Wang caught up with him as well.
We're here with Spencer Dillon from the Toronto Rush ahead of tonight's game against Boston Glory. Spencer, you're one of many talented players from the Durham region. Durham has produced many high-level ultimate Frisbee players in recent years. So tell me, what's that secret behind Durham's region's success?
It all starts with the juniors. There's a lot of good high schools and junior club teams, and the community, the club players, the adults, they really care about producing good juniors and helping them out, coaching, and just like being good mentors for the kids.
Awesome. And is there anybody particularly you want to shout out from that community?
I want to shout out the coaches of Chain Reaction. They do a really good job of producing really high-level players. A couple on our team, Rowan Jameson, one of them, came from that program, and it's just been very successful.
Awesome. I'm sure they'd be so proud of where you are now. So we've seen an amazing performance from the rookie class, coming from a lot of energy and particularly speed. So being part of that group, how do you think those qualities are driving the success for Toronto Rush this season?
Yeah, we just go out there. We know we're maybe not the biggest team, but we just want to win with our legs and just run faster than everyone else. And so if we go out there with a fully powered motor and engine that just keeps going, we know that we can get some stuff done.
For sure. We're so excited to see this class play again tonight. And looking across the field tonight, we have a very tough opponent like Boston Glory. So is there any advice or goals the coaching staff have given you and the team tonight?
Yeah, I think, we know that they're a very good team. They won it all last year and have been successful this year. So I think we just want to go out there with a level head and the whole game play the way we want to play. And like I said, win with our legs, win with our speed. They are definitely a big team. So we want to make sure that we execute well and run fast.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Spencer. Best of luck on tonight's game.
Thank you so much.
The chain reaction has caused a ripple effect throughout the Toronto Rush team this season. 7 assists and 8 goals. I did it again, Theo. Mixing it up. There's got so many stats, you get them mixed up for Spencer Dillon. Has been one of the bright stars on the Toronto O-line to begin the season.
He slotted in quite well, and like you mentioned, he's got the speed, and he's become someone that even Boston was noting before the game of, hey, that Spencer Dillon is pretty fast. So the other teams are taking notice of number 4. He's burst onto the scene, University of Waterloo product, not known before the season, of course, making his UFA debut here in 2026, and someone that definitely people are taking notice of.
It's height for the Glory, and it's speed for the Rush, as we are just moments away from the opening pull, as the fans are getting introduced to the home side Toronto Rush. And we'll take a brief look back at some of the action for the Boston Glory coming into today's match.
I mean, talk about what can Lander do, and you just saw it right there. A near Callahan, and this game was all Glory. It took a lot of guts too, because look at the weather. Was not a great weather game, but they won by 17. That's right, 17 points. And so the Glory riding in with that win. They're feeling pretty good right now, sitting at 4-0. Coming into this Toronto road trip for the one singular game. They actually don't have to play Montreal on this road trip. Usually teams have to play the doubleheader, but Boston doesn't have to do that. They just get Toronto here today.
As we saw DC in town on Friday and picked up a win yesterday as well against the Montreal Royale. And of course, one man who would like to get himself and his team back on the right track is that man right there, Max Pettinuzzo, going full extension for the block and finding Marty Gallant far side for the score as well. We'll have our national anthem break and first pull coming up shortly. first poll just moments away. And as mentioned previously, Boston Glory 4-0 on the season. And Theo, in your mind, these are the keys to the game for them to stay perfect on the season.
They have to take care of the disc. They have the third least turnovers in the league at only 50 over 4 games compared to 107 from the Rush. The Rush, in contrast, is in the top 5 in causing opponent turnovers at 110. So certainly the turnover battle is going to be key in this one. And number 2, you got to put doubt in the minds of the Toronto Rush team. They're coming off a loss where they had big playoff implications. They know that. They were up early in the first quarter, gave up the lead, had a very bad fourth quarter. And so Boston looking to cause that doubt early, putting a bow on the game as best as they can in the first half by making big plays and taking Toronto out of what they want to do.
And for Toronto, outside looking in as it currently sits in the Eastern Division playoff picture, but could send a ripple effect throughout the entire UFA if they were to take down the defending champion, Boston Glory.
Well, number 1, you got to play with no fear. For some of these younger first-year rookie players, they're going to look to the other side and see Rowan McDonald, Thomas Edmonds, big names, Jeff Babbitt, Orion Cable. Whoa, those are big names. Whoa, I've never played against them. You got to play with no fear right now. You have to just go out and have fun. You are not the favorite in this game. So go out, take your shots, and have some fun with it. And number 2, it's win the fourth. Already talked about it with the Boston Keys, how Toronto really struggled in the fourth quarter. So this is going to be a key for them here today. Win the fourth quarter. That's going to help potentially take them home to an upset victory. So they have to not have those mental lapses that we saw between the third and fourth.
Down by 3 heading into the fourth against the Breeze, and started off with 3 straight breaks, bumped the margin all the way to 6, and the Rush never could quite recover from a deflated start to the fourth quarter. A few changes have been made on the Rush sideline, and one of them is UFA veteran number 47, Rui Carvalho, brought in a high-energy guy, high experience, and a big frame to contend with some of the names that you already said, Theo. Your Orion Cables, your Jeff Babbitts, your Toba DeCronas, your Lander DeCronas. And so what kind of impact do you expect the veteran to make inserted back into the lineup today?
He's played 26 games in his career, and he will guard probably one of those players, and he will have to take some of those assignments. He's a big student of the game, really wants to continue to get better. I've had the pleasure of playing with him back in the day, long time ago for a Toronto-based club, but he is someone that really wants to study the game, and it's exciting to see him making a season debut here.
And we're just waiting for the final all clear, the opening poll. As it sits right now, the Toronto Rush in red will be heading from the right side of your screen to the left. And for the Boston Glory in their white, will be heading from the left side to the right. And Lander DeCrana gets things underway with the opening poll. It's Rush disc to start. It's Petnuzzo and Polaz finding the cutting Spencer Dillon. A strong start could be key if the Rush were to play the upset today.
Remember, they got 2 breaks to begin that DC game, and we see Evan Bembanista, who gets a touch now. He's joined the O-line.
Height and speed coming from Evan Bembanista. Petnuzzo is going to dive out, but it's snagged in the end zone by Jeff Babbitt. The former MVP making a statement early and looks to be possibly under some duress. Immediately dropped down. The whistle was blown. We'll see. He made some sort of motion to the bench. No indication from Glory head coach Sam Rosenthal if there were to be a sub and plays back underway. And so I guess we have our answer.
You can't float out a throw with Jeff Babbitt in the backfield like that. You have to try to put some zip on it. Petnuzzo's fast, so maybe just put a little more speed on that throw. Otherwise, Babbitt's going to hunt for the block. He had 21 last year to lead the league.
Graff to Babbitt. Now back to Graf, floated through the middle. Turner may have got a piece of it. And the Rush now back with possession. They find the hold and find themselves in the lead. Ryan Polaz now drawing the double team, finds the speedy Marty Gallant. Stall count rising, has to hit the escape route with Petnuzzo. Polaz looking for Turner. And the Rush strike first. Polaz to Turner. Not sure if he'll quite be credited with the bookend, but was in the area to cause the disruption, get the disc back. And it's a dirty hold, but a hold to start the game for the Rush.
He showed some resolve, able to get the disc back, and certainly happy with that result. Phil Turner, we've mentioned this a couple times now, but if you're just joining us, and maybe this is your first Rush game of the year, Phil Turner on offense, yes, that's right. A longtime D player, over 100 career blocks. He is out here playing offense. And another change too is we've seen Guggen Chatha mostly playing offense. He's going to be on D-line right now, so we've already seen a tinkering of personnel for Toronto.
Phil Turner in his 10th goal of the season, first of today's match. Puts the Rush up 1-0 in the early going. Looking deep. There's two in the area, and Zwang with the deflection, but it falls right to the hands of Dinger, and he floats it easily to the wide open Simon Carapella, and just like that, the Glory strike back. Eric Zwang of the Rush does lead the team in blocks, but unable to come up with one there. And with numbers, the Glory breeze into the end zone.
Ryan Dinger, one of those New England college players that have been added to this roster. Very New England born and bred here for this team. And there were two receivers there and only one Eric Zwang. So there was a defensive breakdown from Toronto as we see an offsides called.
Lost in goal, scored number 2, Simon Carapella. Assist number 12, Ryan Dinger.
DeCrona and Dinger left unchecked deep downfield. Zwang with the deflection. But ultimately, Glory would not be denied, and the game is tied. Polaz off the restart for Turner, and up and over his hands.
The wind is going more right to left, just like on Friday. Certainly not the same gusts we saw, but that one clearly playing tricks on Turner there. Just jumped up at the last second.
Stall count rising for Graf. Goes back to Cole Davis. Brandon finds him again.
CDB and Graf will be the two key D-line handlers for Boston here, and looks like they're going to call a timeout. Seeing the offense kind of stagnate there, they weren't getting a lot of downfield cuts. They're going to get their O-line back on the field here.
Take a look back at exactly what went on here for the Toronto defensive coverage.
You can see Eric Zwang covering Tobe DeCrona, but Ryan Dinger was free and came off the other side. I'm not really sure where those Toronto defenders were standing or trying to place themselves. It was 2-on-1 as soon as that throw went up.
It'll be a long day's work for the defender that is Eric Zwang, and he could probably use some victory insoles. Sprint faster, cut sharper, and recover smarter. Victory insoles and recovery footwear are the ultimate upgrade on and off the field. Learn more about Victory technology and get your pair at vktry.com. Victory.com. We'll see what the Glory have in store off of the timeout. Carapella, the lone goal scorer for the Glory side so far, finding Ben Sadok.
Good to see Justin Podnar back on the field for Toronto. He's going to be on Tobe DeCrona right now.
Nishizaki had a play on it, but it was Carapella who won the race. Glory calculated in their approach as they near the end zone. Rowan McDonald now with the flick, looking inside. Broken up by Justin Podnar. Blocks in back-to-back games to start his Rush career.
Only played 3 points. He has the disc now. Want to see him make more of an impact because he unfortunately came off to injury there as we see a turnover.
Miscue through the hands of Kevin Chow. Reset once again. Glory disc on the far sideline. Already see we do have the whistle blown. Not sure exactly what the call was.
I thought he caught it out of bounds. It looked like there was no way he was in bounds from where. Looks like it is out of bounds for Boston. They were really tiptoeing that line, that far side line there.
Kai Huang looking for the deep target. Justin Podnar broken up that time by Simon Carapella.
Remember, with the timeout, this is the D-line group for Toronto. They don't get as much opportunity in practice playing offense, so you're going to have to, if Boston gives them another turnover, they're going to have to work it the full length of the field, perhaps.
DeCrona looking deep. It's Orion Cable. No, it isn't, actually. It was Simon Carapella who ran it down and finds Rowan McDonald in the end zone. Looked like possibly the initial target was Orion Cable, but it was the outstretched Simon Carapella who will add himself back into the box score. He starts with a goal and follows it up with an assist.
Carapella coming into this game is third on the team with 7 helpers. Will add 1 more to the tally, and you're absolutely right. That definitely was not the intended target. That hammer helixed a lot more than I think Tobe wanted. It goes to the left, and Carapella had to make a nice diving play as well to save that one. So Boston up 2-1 here. Babbitt going to be back out for some defense, and certainly one of the most talked about players in the league. We saw him on the roster initially as questionable. Was curious to see what his minutes would be like, but he is ready to go and will be playing in full here today.
Head coach Sam Rosenthal was adamant that he was fully healthy. It was more of a travel dispute, which led to his questionable status earlier in the week. The former MVP is back in the lineup, already with a block to his name. Dillon looking deep. It'll have to be a play for Rowan Jamieson, and it's Babbitt again. Coming up large on the defensive side.
Yeah, we spoke Babbitt's name into existence. He's always going to be hunting for blocks, and you saw that right there. He was on the all-defense first team last season. And someone you just don't want to test in the deep space. I would just stop throwing it in his direction. If he's near there, just don't air it out.
2 defenders in the area for the Glory, looking for the deep shot. Or the Rush, broken up by Babbitt, and contact will get some free yards for the Glory. Guerrero looking inside for Gus Haflin. It's deflected away. Rush now have a chance to tie it up.
There was a bit of contact there, so a little bit surprised there might not have been a foul call going the way of Boston.
Turner for Polaz. 15 yards from the end zone. Polaz looking for Jamieson, broken up by Zach Singer. Shouts for some contact coming from the Rush sideline will fall on deaf ears, and the Glory will go back the other way.
Boos erupting from the stands too, but it's not going to change the ref's call. Looking like they're going to let them play a little bit here today, Adam. That's what it looks like.
We've seen a couple bumps in the early going. We'll see what kind of rocky road it turns into. Just how big is the margin for the contact? To your point, Phil, we've seen it go uncalled, at least in the early goings. Looks like Singer might have got away with an extra step there. As he combines with Graf as they move downfield again. Fisher Olvera to Graf.
They do call a push-off on Graf there. So that will go back 10 yards. But I don't expect Rosenthal and assistant coach Nathan Wicks to call a timeout here. I think they're going to let their D-line offense just run through this right now with their one-break lead.
I've already called one timeout. Still 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Boston Glory leading 2-1 over the Toronto Rush.
That could have been a foul right there.
Singer and Jameson. Loaded up for Graf, who secures it and finds Babbitt. And Benista trying to make things difficult. Babbitt has to think quickly, and with the left hand, able to corral it. It looks like Babbitt will be called again. We've seen the last two whistles called with a bit of a forearm shiver. First it was Graf on Dillon, second it was Babbitt on Benvenista.
Yeah, Babbitt right now is pleading to Benvenista to invoke the integrity rule. He's saying, hey, I didn't actually foul you. But right now, if you see Boston's end zone set, they have three players more at the back of the end zone. They have one person isolated at the front. They're trying to work mostly through their handler dominator here. The other three in the stack are just hanging out, trying to create space. Now, since they're moving backfield, they're going to have to go to a different look offensively.
Gus Haflin skies to bring in the dish from Graf and gives it back to him now. Inside for Babbitt, and the lead's been doubled. Zach Singer finding Babbitt after a lengthy possession for the Glory D-line. But the break leads to a 3-1 lead for the Glory.
Babbitt will collect the bookends there because he also got a block during this lengthy defensive point. Two-time MVP, winning it with two different teams, with New York and then with Boston. Such a presence for this Glory side. And we haven't really talked about some of their other additions like Rowan McDonald and Thomas Edmonds, because it's been a lot of defense right now for Boston. They're up 3-1, and we talk about the key to the game. When you go up early, especially doing it with your D-line, offense, they're only calling a timeout once. You're certainly going to try to cause some doubt into this Toronto young offense.
2 blocks and a goal for Babbitt already. And McDonald as well, as you mentioned, with a goal to his name. As the Rush will look to do something about this deficit. Podnar wide open downfield.
Assist number 23, Zach Singer.
Ayad floats for Podnar. And a quick response from the Rush. Max Ayad had 2 assists on Friday's loss to the DC Breeze, and now adds his 3rd of the season, 3rd of the weekend, as he finds the cutting Justin Podnar his first goal in a Rush uniform.
We've seen him play a few points now, has Podnar, so I expect to see a full number 0. A well-known name in the college scene, as well as playing for multiple Team Canadas. Certainly an energetic player that's going to bring a lot to this Rush squad. Can do it with the legs, but also can throw it as well. And is someone that I think the team is very happy to have finally on the roster. It was dealing with some injuries after college regionals in the Northwest, as we see a delay of the game just because there was a sign that blew onto the field. So the wind maybe picking up a little bit here at Varsity Stadium.
The breeze have left town, but the wind has stayed here at Varsity Stadium. Toronto Rush, Boston Glory. 3-2 sits our scoreline. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Adam Hunt and Theo Wan with you, and you've heard from our sideline reporter Wenny Wang as well. We thank you for joining us on UFA TV and on YouTube with CBC Sports.
Boston will get the disc in the second quarter here, so keep that in mind as well. I don't think they're going to take off the whole 1 minute and 40, but want to reduce the amount of time Toronto has with the disc to get the last possession.
DeCrana looking for Peter Borth, in and out of the hands, and the Rush have a chance now to draw back even. 1 minute 23 remain. A calculated timeout. Rush head coach Jamie will get his O-line back on with 1 minute 20 to go in the first. 3-2 sits our scoreline. Fast-paced and competitive, any surface, indoor or out. Disc-It is round net meets ultimate, and it's the must-have portable game for every UFA fan. Set Disc-It up in 3 minutes for hours of fun. Get yours at discitgame.com.
They share the same passion for real estate as they do for ultimate. Call Jamie at Remax and Mike at All Toronto Mortgages.
O-line back out for the Rush. We're just waiting for the all clear for play to resume. 3-2 sits the score. Rush have a chance now to draw back even.
Evanista is open on this close sideline. Halfland is kind of hovering in the space here.
Right off the restart, there was a whistle blown. Unsure exactly what the call was. Could be in the realm of delay of game is what it sounded like I heard, and you can't loft them out when Lander DeCrana is in the area. His first block of the game. Now the Glory back with it, looking to reclaim their 2-score lead. Inside, bookends for Lander DeCrana. Off of the feed from CDB, Cole Davis Brand. Just how quickly the tides can turn. Toronto calls the timeout, looking to draw back even and find themselves back where they started, stuck to.
That hurts. That hurts if you're Toronto. You drop, play off the timeout, turn over a couple throws later, and then Boston really just punching in your mouth with their end zone possession there. Not really contested by Toronto. Launder already having an impact in the game. You mentioned the bookends already. And he, in that pregame interview, we talked about his national team experience with his brother. Boston doesn't have the same amount of European imports that maybe some other teams would look to have, but they're certainly happy with the two DeCrana brothers here. We saw Toronto bring in the Europeans last season. They have since not in the league this year. So Toronto, just like Boston, trying to be more homegrown, so to speak. A lot of players have grown up playing juniors in the area and in college.
50 seconds to go in the first quarter. Mixed bag out for the Rush right now. We see Robinson finding Luke Kamire, no stranger to playing O points. More of a D-line role this season as he slips one in for the outstretched Justin Podnar. Max Ayad, an assist already in today's match. Won't get one here as he regroups. 20 seconds, time ticking away for the Rush. Harry Norris.
They're going to have to move with a little bit more urgency here.
13 seconds to go. Norris floating one up. Robinson's there. Will have to move quickly. Ayad. Will he have Nishizaki? Can't reel it in. Far side of the end zone. Ayad looking for Nishizaki. Outstretched fingertips for number 2 on the Rush. And we've got the final whistle of the quarter. waiting for confirmation if there was going to be time left on the clock. The quarter break now. Glory 4, Rush 2. The East Division leaders flexing their muscles here at Varsity Stadium.
That's tough for the Rush because they could have benefited from getting that last buzzer beater score. That would have been 4-3. Then they can power D-line and try to get one back. But now they're stuck to, and they're starting on defense. So that's real tough for them. They will try to, of course, generate that break off of the quarter intermission, if you want to call it that. We see some kids out here going on a race down on the track, and it's not as many as a school night, but certainly a lot of fans out here packing Varsity Stadium. As we take a look at the stats here, the break opportunities for Toronto, they did have one, unable to convert. And of course, Boston with 2 breaks to go up 4-2 right now, with Toronto starting on offense in the first quarter.
Get yourself a pro-level Frisbee, get yourself a hat, get yourself shirts, all kinds of stuff going on. There's some games for you.
Lots of action here in the first quarter. And we saw that blown coverage earlier where there were 2 Boston players, only one Eric Zwang. Sort of indicative of how the first quarter has gone. It hasn't been a bad first quarter, let's say, for Toronto, but a couple execution errors have done them in so far.
With that miscue right at the end of the first quarter, could have cut the deficit to 1. It was Hayat looking for Nishizaki, couldn't quite connect in the dying seconds of the opening frame. To your point, Theo, Rush will start out on D. We'll see Gagan Chatha again making his way out. A bit of a mix-up from what we've seen in previous games for the Rush. All the glory will go with their strong side. Rowan McDonald, Toba DeCrana and company looking to take their largest lead of the game, which would be 3 goals.
I'm a little bit surprised about Chatha being on D-line because he's basically been playing offensive line the whole season. He's known for that now wherever he plays, club or on national team. So a little bit surprised, but they've done it as well with Luke Comire. So certainly they're hoping that recipe strikes well twice, or lightning strikes twice, with moving him also to the defensive line. And then you add a little bit more height at the cutter position with Evan Bebanista. And so that's why you might see a little patchwork with different lineups going in for the Rush. Head coach Ian Millage did mention you might see that throughout this game, and we're already starting to see it early in that first quarter.
More height, certainly an emphasis for this Rush D-line. Number 47, Louis Carvalho as well, who we mentioned in the pregame, being inserted back into the lineup today. We've seen him draw the Orion Cable assignment in the first quarter. We'll see if it continues. As it's Glory Disc.
And he's on Toba right now is Rui Carvalho.
Just missing the outstretched fingers of Noah Nishizaki.
Nishizaki's going to look to get that back after that zippy throw that he was unable to bring in. He's looking to generate some momentum for his team right now.
DeCrana thought about the deep shot, but finds the cutting Peter Borth. Borth now. His pass intended for Thomas Edmonds, broken up by Kai Huang.
League debut when he makes a play. Looks like Toronto will keep the disc with a foul call.
Chatha. His pass looking where David Patsinas didn't initially connect. A whistle downfield. They'll have a brief discussion.
We have an official timeout as they talk this one over.
We'll see what exactly the decision ends up being. So it looks like the Rush will keep the disc. For a brief conversation, contact was the initial call, and it was the finalized one as well. The Rush disc along the near sideline. Patsinas to Nishizaki. Finds Chow. Finds Ho.
Chow had some steps going deep as well, but no one hit him. Now he's coming down free for an under.
Chow finds Ho. Knocking on the doorstep is this ragtag D-line from the rush. Ishizaki stall count rising, finds Nam Ho. He finds the outstretched Kai Huang. Looking for options, Chatha now enters the fray. Looking inside, and Nam Ho tiptoes along the sideline and cuts the lead back to 1. Nam Ho, his first goal of the season.
For Kai Huang, first assist of his career. Got a block on the same point as well. That's a pretty special way for the Queen's University product to make a name for himself in the league. Throwing the lefty no-step backhand as well. A little flavor for number 13.
Kai Huang's assist. Nam Ho's goal. The deficit is back to 1.
And that's where that end of quarter miscue would have been tied now if things were to hold. So certainly, if you're Toronto, you can't look back at that now because now you get kind of what your D1 line is with Ayad and Podnar out there. Now they have a chance to get a second consecutive break.
Harry Norris as well makes his way out. He'll draw the Babbitt assignment. Chatha checking Orion Cable.
Time to go 1 minute, 37 seconds. Hold from playing.
Babbitt near side. In for DeCrana.
Same O-line here for Boston with Babbitt crossing over, though.
All right, fans, you ready to make some noise here? Field 1.
Dinger for Borth. Sadok. Deep shot for DeCrana. And it's Chatha in support. Eric Swang was there to weigh on the mind of DeCrana, but it's Guggen Chatha. The height on full display. And now Podnar looking for Zwang. Babbitt's there, not high enough. And it's Eric Swang with the goal, and we are back tied in the second quarter.
What a turn of events. I did say don't test Jeff Babbitt, but I guess if you do, you throw it high enough that even he can't reach it. We saw that happen on Friday where there was a throw right to left. The UFA actually featured it on their social media channels where it evaded the hands of Evan Benveniste, and that was eerily similar. Same end zone. It misses the hands of Babbitt, and Ricky Zwang will be the recipient of that pass from Justin Podnar. So we're all tied up. What a start here in the second quarter for Toronto. Now curious to see what Boston does with their offensive group. Looks like the same line back out. McDonald's back out there. Carapella among others. So they're trusting this O group to get the job done.
First goal, or first assist of the match for Justin Podnar. Second on the season, leads to goal number 5 for Eric Swang on the season. Boston looking to punch back. Launder DeCrana's there. There's 2 defenders, but it doesn't matter. Launder DeCrana with one hand skies it. Carvalho and Chow in the area, but it doesn't matter. As a highlight reel play for Launder DeCrana sees the Glory retake their lead.
That was just straight nasty as we get another look. You saw Carvalho after the play shrug his shoulders. What else can I do? I got a body on him. What else can I do here? That's what he's asking himself. Insane grab from Launder to get 2 goals in the game. Cross him over to O-line there, and he makes a play immediately.
Our player to watch, showing exactly why he draws that moniker for today. Second goal of the game, and the Glory have their lead back. Pettenuzzo Orgalon looked inside for Benveniste, opts to reset
Boston Glory goal scorer number 50.
with Dylan. Polas.
Assist number 99, Rowan McDonald.
Petnuzo.
Time of the goal, 3 minutes, 8 seconds. Lander DeCron from McDonald.
Contact to be called again, and some free yards will be given to the Rush.
Looks like no protest either from the Boston side. They kind of knew what happened there. We've seen a bit more fouls called for some contact now after some early no calls.
Let it go in the early going as Benveniste snags one out of midair. On and another whistle will be blown. Kick will be called, and the 10 yards that were given earlier will be given back now as the Rush have to move back downfield, and now it's Petnuzo. Gallant to Dylan. Dylan back to Gallant. That one hung in the air, but the speedy Gallant was able to get to it in time. Gallant looking far side. Polas is there. Will he make the grab? He does. Ryan Polas with a highlight of his own. We're used to seeing him dish them out, but he has to remind everyone that he's a dual threat. One-handed grab for Ryan Polas ties it again.
Don't think Marty Gallant wanted that throw to hang up that much. But Polas having a couple inches on his defender will make the play as we get a look at Isaiah Masakeli, not dressed for this game. A veteran of this team, part of the first ever and only championship win for Toronto back in 2013. He's out on the sideline providing some veteran support there. I don't think Polas knew he was on camera there when he took that sip, but that drew a couple chuckles from the crowd. You got to be media ready out here. You never know who's going to catch you on camera. You got to be ready.
Ready on the field was Ryan Polas. Picks up goal number 6 on the season. As the Glory now chance to move back into the lead, and it could start right here. Peter Borth going to milk this one to the end zone, and it's Kamire comes up with the block. And now, with Chatha and Kamire out there on this break chance, the Rush could take just their second lead of the match. That would be their first since the score was 1-0.
Great hustle from Kamire there as well. I thought that was going to be a good goal for Boston, so he did not give up, and certainly showing why he's now on the D-line for Toronto this season.
Bodnar looking for Harry Norris. He'll have to make a play, but it's snagged. It's Peter Borth comes up with the snag.
Boston should keep the disc, even though he landed out. He should be able to go back inbounds, and yes, he has the disc now. Norris throwing into a poach there. He didn't really have options when the stall count was rising.
Just took a quick look at the Luke Kamire block, and he'll have to come up with another if the Rush are to retake the lead. Glory back with the disc. DeCrana weighs his options, had numbers deep momentarily. Opts to connect with Borth, and now Sadok.
Almost going every other right now is number 33. First had Zwang on him, now it's Chatha.
Quick pitch and catch with Cable. Intended target Peter Borth that time, broken up. It's Max Iad making his presence felt. Looked like it was a timeout called on the field. Neither Chatha or Iad both seem to signal for the timeout. 5 minutes remain. 5-5 sits our scoreline.
You want to get their O-line back on here, and that throw just hung. That's a second throw now that Boston hung up on that point where it allowed Toronto Rush defenders to get there. So they really got to dial in, especially going right to left downwind. Some of those throws are going. Let's take a look here. Toba's throw just catches the wind and rises up. Allows Ayad to make a play. I think if he puts that out into space, Borth would have had it. He was imploring for the foul call there, integrity rule, but that was not the case as the O-line back on here for Toronto.
Every game live, anywhere you go, watch UFA.tv is your home for all the UFA action this season. Watch the Toronto Rush or Boston Glory continue their season on your TV using Roku or Amazon Fire and stream on mobile with the UFA app. Toronto O-line back out. Off of the timeout, 5-5 sits the score, and it's Turner looking deep. That one just might be out of the reach of Pettenuzzo, and it is as it's hauled in by Oscar Graf.
He's described as Boston's best defender, and certainly you see why there. The Tufts product making the play, and I think if it angled maybe towards the right side of the end zone, Pettenuzzo would have had more of a chance, but Graf coming off the back of the stack, able to make the block.
Di Lorenzo. Or DeCrana. DeCrana has options deep, looking for Graf. Bembanista was closing fast, some contact. Oscar Graf seemed to bear the weight of both he and Bembanista as they crashed to the ground. Yet to get up is number 7 for the Boston Glory. And some serious discomfort on the far sideline.
That's two big bodies hitting the turf there. We'll see what transpires in terms of a call. Trainer is on the field as well for the Toronto trainers out there. And Oscar Graf is going off on his own power here as we take another look.
Give it up for both teams. We have some Superman layouts happening on offense and defense.
Take a look at how we got to this scoreline of 5-5, and it was a one-handed snag for Ryan Polaz. Floats in midair. One-handed grab. 5-5 sits our scoreline in the first quarter, or first half rather. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remain in the second quarter.
Podnar out, Polaz in here adding some offensive firepower for this Toronto side. Just making a change because they're on defense right now.
Graf will stay in with the disc off the restart. The wind takes a hold of that one, but reeled back in by Graf. Now for McCann. McCann's pass deflects off the hands of Turner Allen. There was a rush defender in the area as well. Could have been Phil Turner possibly picking up another block.
Yeah, we'll see who the statisticians give that block to because there were multiple Toronto players there. It was not a great throw choice from Boston.
Bembanista now looking for Galah, and the speed on full display. Comes up with the grab. DeCrana was hovering in the area. But in this edition of height versus speed, it's Marty Galah and his lightning legs winning the battle. 6-5 the lead for the Rush. 3 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Adam, does that solve the debate? Speed versus height, which wins?
I think it'll be an ongoing battle, especially today, given the height on the Glory side and the speed for the Rush. The most recent addition claimed by Marty Galah, and the Rush have their lead back. Great dish from Bembanista as well to set that up.
Right now, Toronto winning this quarter 4-1. They have 3 breaks and only 1 clean hold so far for Boston. So they're reeling a little bit. They'll send their O-line back out there, needing a hold in a bad way right now. Only scoring 1 goal so far in this quarter.
Sadok to Edmonds, looking deep for DeCrana. Chow's closing, so is Huang, but it won't matter. Two hands for safety. Toba DeCrana, the reigning MVP, showing exactly why he won that award last year. And just as quick as the Rush took the lead, the Glory have evened things out.
Too easy, too easy. Easy pull play call for Boston. Get Edmonds isolated in space. And he's going to throw this dime out for Toba DeCrana right there. Edmonds, a Toronto product. We saw him on Friday, Adam. We called that game. We saw him out supporting his former DC Breeze teammates. And you had a chance to speak to him before the game as well and talk about what it means to be playing back at home.
He was talking a lot about the emotions that come with playing so close to home. His parents live in Toronto. That's why he came up early. He was at the game versus DC on Friday. He was out well before anybody else had arrived for either side, was sitting on the bench just kind of taking it all in, and I asked him what's kind of going through his head. He said he wants to experience the emotions pregame so that when the whistle blows, he's all business. And he was certainly all business on that throw. Finds DeCrana and finds the Glory back in the lead. As the Rush will turn it over, looking deep for Gallant. Broken up this time by Gus Haflin. Quick dish hangs in the air.
That throw needed a little bit more loft to it.
6-6 sits our scoreline. 2 minutes 45 to go in the second, and it's Graf looking deep for Turner Allen, but it's Phil Turner who's there in response. Petnuzzo from Dillon, he'll return it to him. Kamire out up over his head, and it sails out of the path of Evan Benvenista.
Kamire out on this offensive point. So don't see Polas on the field right now for Toronto. And I hear some no's. I think that was Brendan McCann. Maybe not happy with his D group being taken off the field, but you have a timeout. You can't take it with you to the bank or take it home with you back to New England. So they're going to call a timeout with 2:04 left, putting their O group back on the field. So both teams out of timeouts right now. They'll have to play the rest of the way without any. And so this would be a key turning point if they can notch in this break with 2 and change left in the second frame.
Any name, any number, any team. Get your custom Toronto Rush or Boston Glory jersey by B Ultimate, starting at only $55 in the UFA shop. Plus, grab the latest Pro Frisbee designs and UFA gear, all at shopufa.com.
I will say this with the scoreline the way it is 6-all with, like I said, 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in the second quarter. I don't think many people coming into this game would have seen Toronto hanging with this Boston team for as long as they have so far. That's sort of a recipe for an upset. You just hang around, you try to have some weird things happen in the third and fourth quarters. That's what they're hoping for right now.
Not only is the score tied, but Toronto coming into this match averaged 19.2 goals per game. Boston Glory at 23, 6th in the league, both well off of that pace. And we'll see what the final minute 45 bring. A defensive affair, to say the least, in the first half here at Varsity Stadium. Adam Hunt, Theo Wan, and Wenny Wang here on UFA TV and on YouTube with CBC Sports. And a quick block out of the hands by Luke Kamire.
Borg wanted a strip call for sure. There is someone streaking deep for Toronto.
He'll go for a run. It's Podnar's there, but Kamire unchecked. Took off out of a cannon after the block, and he's there in relief for Justin Podnar as the disc sailed up over his head. But the wily veteran had an eye on it the whole way. And the Rush are back in the lead. 1:17 to go.
One benefit of having a gunslinger like Chath on your D-line is, hey, he can help you on the turn. You saw that right there. We talked at the top about them playing free without fear, and certainly taking deep shot after deep shot is one way to do that. So I believe Toronto is nailing that key right now. Just having no fear, taking shots when they can. And right now that's resulted in that 1-goal lead so far. As we get another look at this play, it looked like Borth hadn't released it when Kumire had hit it. I would love to get one more look if it's possible from our replay team.
Jotha and Kumire connect, and it's all because of this play. Ball on the field was a block. The eventual bookend by Luke Kumire, Jotha's first assist. Kumire's first goal of the game. 7-6, 1:17 to go in the second quarter. Rush leading the Eastern leading Boston Glory.
And Petnuzzo out on this D point for Toronto as well. So they've powered up a little bit. He's going to join this D2 group side right now.
Time to go, 10 minutes, 43 seconds. Kumire from Java at 10:43.
Saw Huang getting involved with an assist to Nam Ho. They're hoping for that same magic. Call for the clock to be reset to 60 seconds here. And we'll start once the disc gets moved off the first throw.
Glory gets 7 more seconds to work as halftime approaches. Stuck 1 to the Toronto Rush. Crowd here at Varsity Stadium trying to urge their side on with the defense chants. And the request will be heard. Nishizaki flying through the air.
That throw really should have never come off. Edmonds was quite covered. Made for an easy layout block from Nishizaki as there's some congestion with him and Edmonds.
Now Petnuzzo will be called for the travel. He certainly thought he was fouled. Marked now by Thomas Edmonds. Nishizaki looking for Petnuzzo, but that's going to fly too far out of the path. Scooped back. And the Glory now, limited time to work, 20 seconds. Petnuzzo hits the turf. DeCrana weighs his options. Gonna float this one, looking for Edmonds, and he'll let that one roll into the end zone. And scoops it just in time for the closing Carvalho. It looked like we might have an unsportsmanlike called, as right after the goal was scored, Edmonds fired the disc towards the Toronto sideline. Boo Birds are out at Varsity Stadium. We'll see what exactly he was so upset about.
Well, first off, Carvalho could have made a play, and he actually didn't make any physical contact. So that was a safe play from Carvalho. Let's take a look at the extracurriculars afterwards. He kind of just fires it in that direction. You can see some Toronto players asking why. It's kind of interesting because at the end of that play, Chatha and Edmonds, who both played on the Team Canada World Games team together in China last year, winning a silver medal, also with Marty Gallant. Chatha was trying to chat with Edmonds, give him a tap on the chest, saying, we're all good, right? That was a very interesting turn of events there. You certainly don't want to raise the chippiness of this game. It's been relatively clean so far. I know there were some non-foul calls early, but it's been simmered down since.
Looks like it'll be a 20-yard foul.
Head coach Jeff Peters, head referee Jeff Peters has just signaled.
Glory will back up even further.
The Boston Glory's number 8, Thomas Edmonds.
Their own end zone before the pull to restart play. And so with 12 seconds to go, but free real estate given to the rush.
It's a lot of time.
Will they reclaim their lead before the halftime whistles ring?
They can make a couple downfield throws before they have to chuck it to the end zone, so they do have some time here.
Petnuzzo for Jamison. Jamison's going to let one fly. Podnar's there, but there's defenders closing. It's going to be a jump ball. Podnar just outside. Now finds Turner. Time did expire, it looks like. So a great grab from Podnar just outside the end zone and tries to quickly dish it to Phil Turner. And during the commotion, time expired. So we'll see exactly how close this play was on the replay.
Because the referees are saying the time, and Boston is claiming the time expired before this throw went off from Podnar. I'd love to see another look with the actual time and play if possible. Right now, as it stands, it's going to be 7-all. Head coach Jamie Mills, of course they're arguing. This is a huge turning point of this game. I said it before. But certainly this, for Toronto to go up 1 into the halftime here. It looks like it's going to remain 7-all as we take a look at the game stats. In the first quarter, it was sitting at 0 breaks for Toronto. That has changed as they got 3 breaks in the second quarter. Boston actually was not able to get a break in the second quarter as we have the 7-all lead. So certainly they're hoping to change that as we head into the third and fourth frames in this game. But Toronto playing a lot better in the second quarter as they were down 4-2 after 1.
7-all as we reach halftime here on UFA TV and on YouTube with CBC Sports. Adam Hunt, Theo Wan, and Wenny Wang here with you to take you through the action. Our halftime coverage will continue after the break.
With the size, the speed, the read.
Did he throw it the full 80 yards of the field?
You cannot kill this Minnesota team.
Are you believing what you're seeing? My hands are on my head up here in the booth.
Was there any doubt? Was there any doubt? Holy smoke!
The Ultimate Frisbee Association is proud to partner with Victory. Elevate your game with Victory insoles and recovery footwear at vktry.com. Delta THC Seltzers. No calories, no sugar, no alcohol. Catch life's moments at drinkdelta.com. Two Town Cider House, bringing the best craft cider for everyday celebration. Find yours at twotownciderhouse.com. And Diskit. Round Net meets Ultimate. Diskit is the must-have portable game for every UFA fan. Get yours at diskitgame.com.
Seven sits the scoreline here at Varsity Stadium. Boston Glory in town to face the Toronto Rush. And a scoreline maybe that some weren't expecting. Boston Glory, the Eastern Division leaders, the defending UFA champions, currently tied 7-7. And we'll throw it down now to hear from the Toronto sideline with our sideline reporter, Wendy Wang.
We're here with Coach Travis from the Toronto Rush after halftime. Coach Travis, today has been a very contact-filled and physical game on both sides of the team. How has that been affecting the team, and does that change any of the game rhythm at all?
I mean, I think it's by design from Boston to try and change our rhythm. We've been preaching right from the beginning of the game to just play our game and not worry about how they're playing. We're just basically trying to match their level of physicality. I think it actually tends to be in our advantage to keep the game less physical. But guys came into the game prepared for what Boston was going to bring defensively.
Awesome, we love to hear that. And Boston is returning to Toronto as the reigning championships. But Toronto has been able to maintain a toe-to-toe score. So what's been playing to drive that success today?
I mean, I think that starts right from roster selection. We just picked a bunch of guys for this team who really, really hate losing. And I don't think it matters who we play against or when we play, whether we're knocked out of playoffs, whether we're going for a playoff spot. Every person on this team really, really hates losing and takes pride in the defense they play. So I don't think anyone was thinking about playing the reigning champs. They're just thinking about playing the team that they want to beat, and that's every team they play.
That's an amazing mindset. And finally, now that we're about to enter our second half of the game, is there anything Toronto is looking to change or keep the same that you can share?
I mean, we did talk about a couple adjustments in covering their backfield players, applying a little bit of additional pressure and stopping sloughing in the lanes a little bit. But we'll have to see. I don't want to share much more than that in case someone's at Boston listening. But I think, yeah, we have a game plan to adjust things a little bit in the second half and apply more pressure on their handlers.
Awesome. We're so excited to see the next half. Thank you so much. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Wenny, and thank you, Coach Travis. And so, Theo, we certainly saw it at the beginning that the referees were letting the physicality go a little bit more. But as the half progressed, more and more whistles were being blown and culminated in an unsportsmanlike on Thomas Edmonds after he fired the disc right at the Toronto Rush bench. And so could the temperature be rising just a little bit on the field for this second half?
It certainly is physically, but also with the emotions of this game. Toronto coming in as, let's call a spade an underdog. They're coming as underdog. They haven't beat this Boston team since June 25th, 2022. Certainly coming in with the world on their, I guess the world's their oyster. They have a chance to make a big play, and they've done so right now. And certainly the emotions have risen for both sides.
Of course, the emotions are rising, and it's also some unfamiliar territory for the Boston Glory this season. 4-0 on the season, 4 wins, and not to say 4 cakewalks, but it has been with limited resistance. The Glory riding high into today's match have now found themselves in a deadlock, and of course the action continues here on UFA TV.
I'm sure Boston's not overlooking this match right now, but if for you fans at home, you have a chance to see New York and Boston, that's an epic battle. Friday Night Frisbee, that'll be on YouTube. That's on Friday, June 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Then we got the Alley Cats, who just got their first win of the season last night against Chicago. They'll take on Minnesota in a key Central Division battle the next day. And then more wind chill against, you know, one of the top teams in the league, if not the top team in the league right now, in the Oakland Spiders. Undefeated right now are Oakland. That one's on the West Coast in Oakland, Friday Night Frisbee. So you have to stay up 10 o'clock Eastern, but why not? You get free Frisbee on YouTube over there.
And we'll see what the second half brings. Boston Glory, Toronto Rush, 7-7. First time all season that the Glory have been tied at halftime. So what, in your mind, Theo, went wrong for them in this first half, and how can they rectify it here in the second to get back to the smooth operation that we've seen through the opening of the UFA season?
A couple of their throws hung up, allowing Toronto defenders to catch onto the disc. And their offense was clearly not as efficient, giving up 3 breaks in that second quarter. And they weren't able to generate enough defensive pressure on the other side to warrant a lot of break chances of their own. Certainly hoping to change that right now. And I'm just curious to see what the physicality and the chippiness of the game might turn into as we progress, because we really saw it escalate at the end of the second quarter. Edmonds knows a lot of these players. He would have played for a Toronto-based club in Toronto with perhaps some of them. I know he's played with Phil Turner before, played on national teams there as well. So this will be very interesting to see as we move forward into this next quarter.
And once again, just a fantastic display from one of the newcomers here on this Rush roster, Max Pettinuzzo. I know he's one of your favorites when we're looking at the Toronto Rush roster, and it was another fruitful first half for Pettinuzzo.
He is a big-time gunslinger. I want to see him continue to add to the stat sheet here. He actually hasn't hit the stat sheet quite yet. Has a couple of hockey assists, which we'll give to him, but certainly he's been now tasked with leading this offensive line, with Chatha now jumping over to D. So certainly the Victoria product needing to get more involved for this Toronto offense.
Certainly orchestrating what he can with the disc on his side. What is a defensive struggle, to say the least, for both sides. Just 7 goals scored for either team in this first half. And of course, when you're talking about defense and you're talking about the Boston Glory, the only name that can't go unmentioned is Jeff Babbitt.
2 blocks already in this game. Only 2 blocks coming into the year, so he's already doubled that total. And certainly being the all-defensive team in 2025. We mentioned his 2-time MVPs, but did you know he's also been a 4-time UFA first-teamer and a 3-time second-teamer. So just a legacy player in the UFA, someone that's synonymous with this league, and he's got his fingerprints all over with 2 blocks and a goal so far.
The opening pull for the second half, just moments away, as once again we need to clear the field from some debris. The wind making its presence known again, not quite to the effect as we saw on Friday, but has still been a factor. We saw a few different throws in the first half float a little too long in the air or go a little further than what was intended, and we'll see how both teams manage in the second half. As we've got the all clear and we've got the pull, we're back underway at Varsity Stadium. Toronto Rush, Boston Glory, Adam Hunt, Theo Wan, and Wenny Wang here on UFA TV and on YouTube with CBC Sports.
Oscar Graf on Marty Gallant right now. We thought that might be one of the matchups to watch, and we're seeing it right now on the field as Gallant moves into the deep space.
Petnuzzo drawing the double team, looking for any sort of space, and will be a whistle drawn.
Against Toronto, it's going to back him up 10 yards.
Petnuzzo saying he got pushed off, but he's actually going to be sent back 10 yards. He's arguing with Turner Allen there. He started too quickly. He's going to have to go back more. So Petnuzzo costing his team some yardage right now in the last two calls. We know he plays with a lot of energy. Certainly don't want to turn that into negative yards for your team. Good switch to prevent that huck from going off for Boston.
Benvenista now. Finding Marty Gallant. Gallant looking deep. Jameson's there, but so is Babbitt. Breaks it up, block number 3. On the day, Jeff Babbitt.
Second time he's got the better of number 11 there. And we saw one throw evade Babbitt's hands. That was a real floaty one, but not on that laser hammer to Jameson.
Petnuzzo returns the favor with a block of his own. And now he'll look back of the end zone for assist number 1 on the day. Max Petnuzzo with the block and the helper. And it's Marty Gallant putting his side back in front.
That's how you might awake number 49 right now in Max Petnuzzo. Just talk about him at halftime. He leads it. He's only played 3 games so far, but still leads the team in assists, coming in with 12. So certainly now being added to the O-line and being kind of the, not just to the O-line, but being the focal point of that group. It's going to hopefully add more assist total to number 49's tally. E1 group here out for Toronto. Can they generate a break here early to really then on the other side cause some doubt in Boston? Like you mentioned, they've kind of had some convincing victories, including that most recent one by 17 over Philadelphia. And so now they're down in the third quarter. How do they respond?
Stall count rising. We'll see. Looks like they possibly get the timeout off in time. Whistle blew.
Big long mark of Podnar making things difficult as Boston uses a timeout quite early in this third quarter. A lot of game left, and they're going to have to burn one, and certainly not what Rosenthal or Wicks wanted. It doesn't matter what they want, it's already been called. So same group will remain on the field as Wicks in the polo giving some instruction to his team.
Of course, but there's been a lot of talk about the playoffs and what the picture might look like coming out of the East Division, because, of course, the ultimate prize in mind will be awarded at the 2026 UFA Championship Weekend, which returns to Madison, Wisconsin this year on Thursday and Friday, August 27th and 28th. The greatest weekend in Ultimate includes the WUL and the PUL All-Star Game, fan events, giveaways, and more. Weekend passes and VIP tickets are on sale at watchufa.com. So a timeout burned already in the early goings of the third quarter for the Boston Glory. Stall count was rising thanks to The defensive handiwork of Justin Podnar. And that long wingspan. And now we see the crowd starting to get involved once again. 8-7 Rush lead, 10 minutes to go in the third. Waiting for the all clear to restart play.
They have a different player on the disc now in Sadok. So Sadok, a wily veteran of this game now, and adds a bit of different flavor as a lefty. And great to see Podnar playing multiple points now after coming off after 3 points due to injury in the Friday night debut for him.
Glory operating in their own end zone. Thomas Edmonds weighs his options and finds Simon Carapella.
Everything underneath right now for this Glory side. No one threatening deep, even though they're stuck in their own end zone.
Sadok thought about the deep shot. He'll float one to Carapella, and now he'll go deep. It's Zwang and DeCrana. Chatha's there as well. We saw what happened the first time, and it's DeCrana again, but this one gets out of the reach of McDonald, but Cable is there in relief. Disc hung up in the air thanks to the wind. DeCrana readjusts and makes the grab over top of Chatha and Zwang and makes the deposit into the end zone. Orion Cable.
If you're Toronto's defense, every time you step on the field, you're not always necessarily going to get a break. And so you have to take that as a win. You pushed Boston's cutters underneath. You made them throw up a kind of janky throw that was honestly made by a great grab from Tobe DeCrana. And then he almost puts out a throw that could have been compromised by the wind as well. So certainly I think you see that as a win if you're Millage and Puckrin right now for the coaching staff. You're able to generate Boston a lot of throws and had them stuck in their own end zone for a long time with that possession.
Cable, goal number 6 on the season, first in today's match. Draws us back even 8-8. Turner. Or Polaz nearly had it knocked out of his hand, and he finds Petnuzzo. Galal nearly lost his footing. Able to make the grab off the feed from Petnuzzo and returns it to him now. Petnuzzo looking for Turner, and the big man outstretched. Needed all of his wingspan, and now Petnuzzo looking for Dillon. And will he get there in time? Just out of reach. Spencer Dillon and the outstretched fingertips can't haul it in. What would have been one of the best plays we've seen today.
Spencer Dillon, he's getting up and he's saying, I'm okay.
Set that up, Phil Turner getting horizontal, taking a big tumble to the turf to keep that alive, and setting up Petnuzzo, who was able to do a nice step around, try to make that break throw happen. And honestly, from this vantage point, it almost looked like he caught it before you did see the disc hit the turf there. Get one more look at it. Does hit the turf, but he was close. He was close with Spencer Dillon. Spark plug for this offensive line. He's going to come off the field, and Justin Podnar will come on in his stead.
Will get off the field under his own power. Spencer Dillon, one of the bright spots for the Toronto O-line this season.
Boston will put Thomas Edmonds on, so adding an offensive juggernaut of their own here onto the pitch. No threatening deep cuts from Boston right now. A lot of cutters standing still, waiting for these handler resets to get off before they connect.
Singer bobbles before he secures. It finds its way, the disc finds its way rather, to Edmonds and then Graff. Defensive speed on display for the Rush, trying to make things as difficult as possible as Babbitt goes to Graff and then Edmonds. Babbitt's pass looking for Zach Singer. Intended target. The pass was off, and once again, nothing going on deep downfield for the Glory. A lot of short passes. And ultimately, it stalls out. As Podnar now.
Great no around mark to set that up.
Looking for Turner, the big man, skies it and claims it with one hand. Podnar to Turner, and the Rush are back in the lead.
If you're Boston, you forced a janky throw of your own. It was high stall, a great job on the mark of taking away that around flick, looking for the reset for Polas, so Podnar had to air out this backhand. That was a hold for them. And I know Toronto's up 1, but Boston does get the disc to start the fourth quarter.
Rush find themselves back in the driver's seat thanks to the one-handed grab from Phil Turner. And it'll be Rui Carvalho with the pull, and we do have an update on the injured Spencer Dillon. Wenny has more on the sideline. Wenny?
We just saw an amazing layout from Spencer Dillon of the Toronto Rush. Unfortunately, due to that injury, he did have to step off the field, but he's okay. Little bit wounded, but he's back on the sideline. Hopefully, we'll be able to see him for the rest of the game. Back to Adam.
Thank you, Wenny. And as we see on the sideline, Spencer Dillon back and ready to go. Would be a big loss for the Rush if he was unable to continue. Now the Rush looking for a possible break chance here. Would be their largest lead of the game if they are to turn it. But that man has something to say about it. Toba DeCrana looking deep for Peter Borth, but it's the team-leading block getter, Eric Swang, with another.
The reverse of what we saw with one of their turnovers where they floated it too high. This one just underthrown. Borth never really had a chance off the release of the disc.
It was Nishizaki with the stall count rising, looking for Carvalho, but a timeout was called before the pass was made. So both teams have used a timeout in this third quarter. 5:57 remain, Rush 9, Glory 8.
The key juncture of the game right now if you're Toronto. You got your O-line group on the field. Dillon's back out there as well. You're trying to get your lead up to 2 here with just under 6 minutes left.
Sprint faster, cut sharper, and recover smarter. Victory insoles and recovery footwear are the ultimate upgrade on and off the field. Learn more about Victory technology and get your pair at vktry.com. Victory.com.
You see fans jumping up and down. I mean, they're happy with the scoreline. It's also the t-shirt toss going on here at Varsity Stadium, so it serves dual purpose. You get the fans on their feet, excited to try to get another Toronto break, and you also get some free swag.
A reported 900 plus in attendance on Friday, and a strong crowd out again here for this Sunday afternoon affair. Right off the restart, it was a turnover, but it also looks as though Kai DiLorenzo is down under some duress. Trainer will make his way onto the field. It looks as though Jeff Babbitt slowly walking onto the field. Will that be the injury substitute?
A couple players taking some dives in that corner of the end zone. Certainly the temperature a lot hotter than it was on Friday. That can continue to play a factor in this matchup as well, as fans giving a hand to Kai DiLorenzo, the Middlebury product, walking off on his own power there. Previously played for Madison and now taking his talents over to Boston.
7 points played on the day for DiLorenzo, 1 block to his name.
And fans, this is
See.
the last call to get your mini discs for the biggest
what exactly he has in store for the rest of today. He makes his way off, is under his own power. And it'll be Glory's disc, the edge of the end zone. Looking to draw this game back even. 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go. And immediately, off of the play restarting, it's Turner Allen taking the dish. Draws his team back even. 9s all around on the scoreboard and on the field for Turner Allen.
Sneaky throw from CDB just under the right arm of Benvenista. It was a backhand to Turner Allen as he's all smiles. They're up 9. Excuse me, it's tied 9-all. A very low-scoring affair here, Adam, and you would think compared to Friday with the wind a bit down, you would see more high scoring, but it has not been the case here today on Sunday afternoon.
Defensive prowess for both sides has been on full display here today. And as play restarts, we do have an update on the injured Kai DiLorenzo with Wenny Wang on the sideline. Wenny?
We're back here on the field with Kai DiLorenzo from the Boston Glory, also sitting out after another injury. Back to Adam.
And we'll get back to Wenny in just a moment, but in the meantime, Max Petnuzzo climbs the ladder and makes the one-handed grab, putting his team back in front. Yet another highlight to add on the season tape for Max Petnuzzo.
Out of half, he had no goals or assists at number 49. He's already picked it up right now. He's added more to his yards total. Close to 200 throwing yards as well with 161 right now. And Petnuzzo starting to heat up for this Toronto side, and that should cause some worry for the Boston defense.
We just wait for play to restart off of the pull from Max Ayad. Do have an update for Kai DiLorenzo with his possibly injured neck. Looks to be a re-aggravation of something earlier in the week, so we will monitor his progress. Still sitting on the bench as of right now. No indication of whether he'll enter back into the match on the next D point. It's an O-ball right now for the Glory, and Gagan Chotha with the breakup. And the Rush have a chance to grab their largest lead of the day. It'll be Kamire combining with Robinson off the restart.
Arapella definitely wanted a foul there, will not get it.
Here come our 2 Rush super fans with that super flag.
Robinson inside for Podnar. Has Kamire behind him for the dump. Stall count rising, finds it. But way back in midfield are the Rush. Started up near the 30-yard line. Kamire to Podnar, has to hit the deck to come up with the grab. Looking to return the favor to Kamire, out of his hands! And Zwang had a chance at it. Out of the reach of Kamire, but nearly swooping in to save the day was Eric Zwang.
Great heads-up play there. I heard a fan just in front of us saying, I thought he had that. Not the case.
2 hands for safety, but still couldn't come up with it. Off of the long ball sent, looking for Kamire. Now it's Cable looking to send Peter Borth, and he's going to milk this one into the end zone. Actually has to speed up a little bit towards the end. It seemed as though that was going to fall right into his hands. But putting on the Jets is Peter Borth, and we are tied once again. Just under 4 to go. And the Glory find a way to even it.
The defending champs are in a battle right now. They're in a battle. Toronto making them work here, and that's what you want to see from an underdog team at home.
Rush trying to play the Buster Douglas to the Boston Glory Mike Tyson. Currently tied 10-10, 4 minutes to go in the 4th. We'll take one more look at just how close the Rush were to their largest lead of the day. Over the head of Luke Kamire, And nearly with the savior grab was Eric Zwang. But we've seen it on multiple occasions today, just how quick this game moves. Despair on one side, delight on the other, as the Glory are back even. Petnuzzo to Gallant. Gallant thought about the deep shot.
He has Haflin on him again. They've switched off from having Graf on Gallant now.
Petnuzzo to Gallant. Dillon now in stride. Wants to reset. Finds Petnuzzo. Petnuzzo has Gallant cutting. Opts to go up over the top! Rowan Jameson! And the Rush are back in the lead. Petnuzzo has come alive here in the second half. And the Rush continue to punch back for every Glory answer.
8 goals, tied for third on the team coming into today. Adding one more to the tally is the Bowmanville High School product, playing college ultimate over at Davenport in Michigan. Bringing some of that experience to this Toronto Rush side. Another one of those Durham region players that, Spencer Dillon talked about in the pre-game interviews, about the growth of that program in that region of Ontario. A couple of those players now on the Rush.
Toronto Rush goal, scorer number 11, Rowan Jameson. Assist number 49, Max.
Boston once again finding themselves trailing.
Time to go, 8 minutes, 51 seconds.
Looks as though there was a violation off the opening huck, or pull rather, excuse me. Cable, now Sadok. Sadok to Dinger. Fans coming alive again, trying to do everything they can to will the home team towards yet another victory. It all start with a break here as the Glory are cruising. Cable, nifty find for Sadok and back to DeCrana. DeCrana sends a beautiful pass into the hands of Borth, who then finds Edmonds in a quick little drop-off for Cable. And the Glory seem to be finding their stride as once again, next to no resistance, the defending champs cut through the Rush defenses and tie this game up. Orion Cable, his second of the match.
A couple throws for Cable to have to go back to get on that point, but it's been very balanced scoring for Boston. 8 players have accounted for goals here, assists of their 11. So certainly a lot of balanced attack. They also have 8 different goal scorers as well.
Only Cable and both Launder and Toba DeCrana with multiple goals on the game, 2 for each of them. Donald, Edmonds, Allen, Borth, and Babbitt were the other goal scorers for the Glory. Taking a team effort here to contend with the home side Toronto Rush. Petnuzzo trying to make some space for himself. Bit of a collision with Turner Allen. I wonder how much of an injury there was with the stall count rising. There was some contact. Edge of the end zone for the restart. Some final instruction from the referee. 11-all here in the third quarter at Varsity Stadium. 1:48 remains in the third quarter. Adam Hunt, Theo Wan, and Wenny Wang here on UFA TV and on YouTube with CBC Sports. Petnuzzo to Bembanista. Bembanista looking for Jameson. Broken up, that time by Jack Carrero.
Big layout block here could really stem the tide. They'll get the ball back in the fourth.
Graf to Allen. Allen inside. And he did just sneak his way into the end zone. It's Zach Singer. About as close as you could get.
A lot of jawing back and forth. Jamison on the receiving end of that for Toronto. Singer and Allen. Let's take a look at the end of this play here. Watch Allen's reaction afterwards. He's clapping at Jamison there. Singer also trying to get involved after the play as well. Big spike for number 23 as they hold a 1-point advantage with 1:24 left. Remember, one of the keys I talked about before the game was winning the fourth for Toronto, and certainly that's paying dividends right now, or looks to be something that could stem the tide of this game with the scoreline the way it is. They've kept it close throughout. Now they can't have those mental lapses that plagued them on Friday against DC.
Did mention it earlier, but now first Kamire is going to look deep for Podnar. Defenders closing. Will Podnar make the grab? He won't. It's Jeff Babbitt once again.
Might only be his fourth block, but he's made such a defensive impact. It is insane how he still continues to play at this level in this league for so long.
In the middle of everything defensively. The Boston Glory back in the lead. Under DeCrona looking inside for Graff. And the Boston Glory, as the third quarter starts to drip away, are back up 2.
Graff's been working hard all day, drawing the top matchups as one of their strongest defenders, and he'll be rewarded with the goal here. You can see him making an impact on both sides of the field for Boston, and the emotions continue to ride high as he follows Singer's spike with a big one of his own. Now if you're Toronto, you have 31 seconds to score. You certainly don't want to give Boston's offense another possession. You certainly don't want that, knowing that Boston will have offense to begin the fourth. So see if you can get kind of a natural break by just getting a hold to end this frame.
Could be an eerily similar territory for Rush fans as to what they saw on Friday night. Down 3 going into the fourth, and it was back-to-back-to-back breaks for the DC Breeze to really blow the doors off the place. Put the game well out of reach. 20 seconds remain for the Rush. Stuck 2. Time continuing to trip away. Podnar does well. Receive, and a play's gonna have to be made. It's Petnuzzo looking deep for Gallant. What a shot from Petnuzzo. Connects with Gallant, and with 5 seconds to go in the third, Toronto are back to within 1.
Third assist for Petnuzzo, third goal for Gallant. That connection continue to remain strong here. But the question is, did they keep too much time on the clock? There's 5 seconds left, 5 ticks left. See who Boston decides to put on the field. Of course, Jeff Babbitt, normally playing D-line, will be out on the field on offense for any jump ball situations that will most likely happen here. As we see the teacup being used as a celebration here, a lucky cup made by Marty's partners. So good to see that. They're hoping that luck continues into the fourth, certainly.
See now 5 seconds to go in the third quarter. Sadok urging everyone upfield. The play will be restarted on what looks like, if you were watching a football game, the 35-yard line. Sadok airs one out. Turner's there, so is Cable. Everyone is there, and there's a deflection. And this score will hold into the fourth quarter. Just about every player on the field was huddled around the disc, unsure of who got last touch. Could have went off one of the Glory receivers almost, it looked like. Boston 13, Toronto 12. With 1 quarter left to play, the Rush hanging around with the defending champs.
Boston getting multiple breaks. They were only at 2 after half. They've upped that total. Toronto unable to generate any breaks here. They were 3 for 9 so far in the game in opportunities, but not able to cash in. And we see turnovers being quite equal so far. And the margins are thin right now. Boston up 1. Ball back in the 4th quarter. It's going to be an exciting finish here, Adam, to this game. Toronto on upset alert right now. They're hoping for the upset right now. They're putting the defending champs on the ropes a little bit. They're only down 1, and they put a lot of pressure on them as we get a look back at some of the highlights so far. Petnuzzo really starting to heat up. 3 assists and a goal in that quarter alone.
Getting back to some of the production that we're used to seeing from Max Petnuzzo.
On the other side, Boston had 6 different people throw assists in that quarter. Cable got involved with multiple goals as well. Get a look at the Boston bench. They're huddled in the tent. It is quite hot compared to what we saw on Friday night's action, Adam. And we also got the mini disc toss. You can see to the left side of the camera. Fans a chance to participate in that fun contest here. So if you haven't had a chance to come down to a game at Varsity Stadium, you're watching this on CBC Sports YouTube, you got to come down.
It's a great time here at Varsity Stadium, and it could be made even better for the fans in attendance if the Rush were to play spoiler to what has been a picture-perfect start for the Boston Glory. 4-0 coming into today's match, leading the Eastern Division. And right now, the Rush outside looking in when it comes to the playoff picture, trailing the DC Breeze by 2 games, with the Breeze picking up wins on Friday here in Toronto and yesterday in Montreal. So we're just waiting for the final all clear to mention to begin our 4th quarter. It'll be Glory ball heading from the right side of your screen to the left in the white shirts. On the Rush on the left. Boston leading by 1. Rush looking to have a say about that as it's Sadok. Now to McDonald. McDonald to Borth. Borth looking for Edmonds. It was Ayad in the area making it difficult for him. But now it's Sadok. Sadok to Carapella. Back for Sadok. Pump fakes and finds Dekrana. Podnar on the mark.
A stall down called on Tobe Dekrana. Play took a lot of time to develop. They were trying to look for Edmonds at the front, then a handler reset up the line. But Toronto a chance to break to begin this 4th quarter, excuse me.
Guggen Chatha getting things underway, and he'll look for Podnar, but this one's going to hang. Wind playing a factor as Chatha looking to connect deep with Podnar for the break. However, Glory back with possession and look to double their lead. Cable. Or Edmonds. Edmonds for Carapella.
So many players around the disc here for Boston. No one really stretching until Borth went past the 40-yard line.
Not wanting to tempt the wind that's seeming to pop up at times. And now it was McDonald looking to connect with Cable. And it's Chatha coming up with the block. And we'll get a timeout, it looks like.
Looks like an injury called by Podnar. So Podnar's going to come off. Petnuzzo going to come in. Rowan McDonald is going to potentially come off. Looks like Babbitt is stepping on the field. See who comes off for Boston. It's going to be Ben Sadok. So you're going to add more defense in terms of adding number 87 onto the field. And then for Toronto, you got offense with 49. Petnuzzo had a great third frame. Looking to add to it here in the fourth.
Saw Podnar leave yesterday's match early on, just 3 points played, and he's been a big factor today for the Rush. It'll be a big part of their effort if they are to pull this game out. And Zwang looking for Kamire, broken up. Shouts for some contact coming from the Rush side. Referee says play on. Now it's Cable.
You can see Zwang being a little bit uncomfortable with the disc in that situation. Just wanted to shovel it off right away. And perhaps a little too rushed to Kamire there.
Edmonds for Dekrana. Pitch and catch with Borth, and now he's going to float one for Babbitt. Babbitt gets there in time and looking in the end zone for Peter Borth. And it took us a while. We finally have an answer to this point, and it's Boston 14, Toronto 12. Jeff Babbitt on the assist, finds the cutting Peter Borth.
Two-point lead restored here. If you're Toronto, every offensive point is must score at this juncture. Goes without saying. 9 minutes left in the fourth. We've seen Boston's offense be very patient, able to milk lots of time off the clock. So certainly if you give them a 3-point advantage, that will plague any hopes of a comeback victory.
Dylan will watch the pull sail through the sideline. He'll get reset back in the middle of the field. Petnuzzo, it looks like, to restart things for the Rush. Jamison to his right. Finds him.
It's now McCann on Gallant. Keep highlighting that matchup as Gallant has been the top goal scorer for Toronto and their biggest threat here on the offensive line. So different matchups being maximized by Boston.
Now a stall count called the other way. This time it's the Rush. Penalized, it was Evan Benvenista picking it up this time, but off the restart, Spencer Dillon may have got a finger on it, but if he didn't, it was his pressure that certainly caused the turnover. Petnuzzo back for Turner. Turner looking inside for Dillon. It's broken up. This time by CDB, Cole Davis-Brand. He's back with it now. Graff. Or McCann. Back to Graff. Time slowly but surely advancing on in this fourth quarter. 7 minutes and 20 seconds remain. Boston Glory 14, Toronto Rush 12.
They can just keep hitting these resets if they're getting them. They don't really need to rush right now if you're this D-line offense.
And they try to rush one there. It's Seth Fisher-Olvera. And his pass broken up by Petnuzzo. And now it's Jamison, but he's got company. Will he make the grab? He does with two hands. Rowan Jamison cuts the lead back to 1.
Second goal of the game for Rowan Jameson, a must-have after multiple turnovers there. Big throw, and potentially a momentum changer here as we head towards the waning moments of this game.
A lot of high spirits on the Rush sideline after that last possession, especially with the D-line trying to hype themselves up. Got a chance to send ripples through the entire UFA landscape, knocking off the defending champion Boston Glory and handing them their first loss of the season. Ayad's pull will float all the way to the back of the end zone for Dinger. Finds Sadok. And now Edmonds.
Check that. Goal scorer number 11, Roy Jameson. Assist number 49, Max
DeCrona.
Time to go, 5 minutes, 6 seconds.
At McDonald deep. He'll reset. Now finds its way near side for Edmonds.
Good handler D from Comire, making things difficult for McDonald. Had to go to a second option there, did Boston.
McDonald finds Edmonds. Had to hit the turf in order to make the grab. Now it's Borth looking for Cable. And Orion Cable coming alive in this second half. Puts another one on the board and bumps the lead back up to 2 for the Glory. Orion Cable, always dangerous, but has been especially so in this second half.
Having a head for the end zone, or a knack for the end zone. Double-digit goals in every season he's played in the league. Was 8th last year with 32 in the regular season. Certainly, if we get into any jump ball situations, he's going to be out there along with Babbitt and Launder. Amongst their bevy of tall players, Turner Allen's been a great mark for them as well. Just really used the height in the New England area to build a team that plays that way.
Now takes full control of the team lead. Does Orion Cable. 3 goals on the day. Puts his team back up by 2. 5 minutes, 50 seconds remain, fourth quarter. Varsity Stadium, Toronto Rush, and the Boston Glory. Now it's Phil Turner. Looking for the shot to Jameson, finds Polaz instead. Gallant's there. And in and out of the hands. Usually a safe bet to hit the speedy Marty Gallant, but this time, disc falls to the ground.
You can see Rosenthal hovering near the sideline ref. He may be choosing to call a timeout soon if the offense stagnates. See him following the ref right now.
DeCrona with the grab. A bit of contact from Phil Turner.
You're okay with this bleeding of the clock right now with your D-line offense.
Graff finds Launder. Launder back to Graff. Will he milk it into the end zone? He will. Glory up 3 in the fourth. Oscar Graff off the feed from Launder to Krana. The defending champs looking to close the book. Back up 3.
You can hear the music loud and clear right now in this stadium because a hush has come upon this crowd. They know the comeback attempt is starting to wither away. They see the dreams falling right now as Boston gets a late break here in the fourth quarter. A throw that just escapes the hands of Marty Gallant, who's been solid all day. But what matters is how you deliver also in the fourth, and right now it's been Boston showing their might and why they have that championship moxie.
Still time on the clock for the Rush, down by 3. Robinson can't corral it as it goes through the back of the end zone, now in the hands of Kamire. Camira to Ayad. Chotha's going for a run, but Ayad won't hit him. Opts to go for it off of the reset and can't connect with the big man downfield, Guggen Chotha.
It's a very difficult inside-out throw over like 30 to 40 yards.
Turner Allen returns the favor, throws it away. Camira again, now Podnar. There's a man, or two rather, and Podnar opts to hold it up. Nishizaki. Podnar drawing a double team. Nishizaki for Norris. Norris inside for Camira. Camira's got options in the end zone. He's weighing them right now. Stall count rising. Camira looking into the end zone. It's Owen Robinson with one hand. And the veteran mind of Luke Camira waits out the Glory defense and finds his path to the end zone into the hand of Owen Robinson. Back to 2 is the deficit for the Glory. They'll get the disc back, 3:46 to go, looking to protect this lead and protect their perfect season so far in the UFA.
If you're Toronto, you had your D-line out on the field, so you could put someone like Max Petnuzzo to join this D2 group. Podner's also, there's kind of a mishmash because they also have Eric Zwang on the field. So it's kind of a mix of their first and second D-lines here. That's going to be a foul on Huang.
Contact right at the edge of the end zone. Give a few free yards to the Glory.
And time continues to tick. The clock does not stop here.
DeCrona. Carapella. Edmonds cutting and receives it. Got DeCrona with him. Thought about it. Ultimately makes the decision. Toba DeCrona. Finds McDonald. McDonald looking back for DeCrona, and it was Chow nearly coming up with the block. Would have been a key one. Sadok to Edmonds. Time continuing to come off the clock. Petnuzzo loses his footing, and it's DeCrona to Cable. Plenty of protest from the rush, but the signal's been made. Glory back up 3, DeCrona to Cable.
Like you said, protest to no avail here as Cable getting his 4th goal of the game to lead all scorers right now is number 27.
Used to seeing him downfield more often than not. Jump balls are the go-to for the big body of Orion Cable, but has done well to carve out his spots in this second half. 4 goals, all of them coming after the halfway point of the match. So they'll have to work quickly. Will the rush? If there's any whisper of a comeback. 17-14 sits our score. 2 minutes and 20 to go in the 4th quarter here at Varsity Stadium. Those of you watching UFA TV and on YouTube with CBC Sports, we hope you're having as much fun as Theo and I are. This spirited contest in the East Division. Polas. Drawing the double team.
Great idea from Boston, trying to take more time off the clock with those double teams.
Benvenista looking inside for Turner. But it's Turner Allen with the breakup. And now Graf, DeLander, DeCrona. And we'll see just how much time comes off the clock. 3 minutes to go. Or 3 goals is the lead, rather. Minute 30 to go. DeCrana. Directs traffic. Dishes back for CDB, and now he'll float one into the end zone and into the hands of Gus Haflin. Bled the clock and still got a goal out of it. Did the Boston Glory. 18-14, 1:13 to go in the fourth. The Glory flexing their muscles here at Varsity Stadium.
That's the signs of a championship team. This is the first time they were tied at half all season. They pushed through and continued their run here, and they will remain undefeated in the league, holding a 4-point advantage now. But this fourth was all Boston, multiple breaks, and they've really just sunk the hopes of this Toronto team. Playoff chances not dashed quite yet, but certainly puts a big dent into it, having lost to DC, who they were ahead of heading into Friday.
Number 34, Gus Haflin. Assist number 22, Cole Davis Brand. Time of the goal, 10 minutes, 47 seconds. Haflin,
Max Ayad for Podnar. Nishizaki streaking. No path for the Podnar pass. Ayad to Podnar now. Has Norris near sideline and finds him. Norris taking the bump. This time from Gus Haflin. Nishizaki looking for Robinson, in and out of the hands. It looked as though the referee was ready to signal goal, but unable to secure it is Owen Robinson. And with just 36 seconds to go, the Glory will just bleed the clock and will advance to 5-0 on the season. Turnover in the end zone. Kamire trying to get play back underway quickly into the hands of Noah Nishizaki. Cuts the lead back to 3. 27 seconds to go in the fourth.
Was a good hammer look from Nishizaki. Robinson couldn't just bring it in, but he'll be rewarded for his efforts with the goal. I'd like to see the veteran and leader of this team, Kamire, continue to play till the end. The scoreline all but decided, or the result, I should say, all but decided. Still working hard was Kamire, working it right to the line, finding the rookie Noah Nishizaki. Rolf Griffin getting on the board.
Some final instructions from Rush head coach Jamie. Competing right to the end. Will the Rush side. 27 seconds to go. Stuck 3.
Toronto Rush goal scored by number 2, Noah Nishizaki.
Sadok now to Dinger. Dinger looking for DeCrana, and a quick turnover inside for Zhuang. And we'll see a goal is being signaled by one official, but it looks like it'll be overruled.
Yeah, there's some confusion right now. I don't think it's going to be a goal. Let's see.
Referee on the far pylon made the goal symbol, but was immediately overruled. It looks as though down by 2 with 20 seconds to go. Rush with possession. They will call a timeout, looking to get the ideal matchups on the field. Fast-paced and competitive, any surface, indoor or out. Disc-It is round net meets ultimate, and it's the must-have portable game for every UFA fan. Set Disc-It up in 3 minutes for hours of fun. Get yours at discitgame.com. So we see the reset. The goal did not count. Timeout was called. 20 seconds is all that remains. Toronto disc, a little over 5 or 6 yards outside of the end zone. Looking to help their case now. Hangs in the air, and it's Phil Turner with one hand. And the Rush have cut it back to 2, 15 seconds to go.
Third goal for Philly cheesesteak Turner there. He'll get a pass from Max Petnuzzo. Take a look one more time. He'll win the jump ball battle. Petnuzzo really coming alive in the second half after what was a quiet first.
See, not only was he in competition with the Boston defenders, but it looked as though Marty Galan was in the area as well. They had a little back and forth after the goal from Turner. Doesn't matter who, it just matters if it counts. And it looks like it'll be Turner with the pull. We'll be looking for any and all possible turnovers. Down by 2, 15 seconds to go. Edmonds will take all the time he can off the clock. Quick dish to Carapella. Looks like it'll just be one more pass. Edmonds back. This time it'll be Ryan Dinger. And the time will finally expire. As Dinger sends it into the crowd and was caught by a fan. And that's our last bit of action here at Varsity Stadium. 18-16 is the final score. Boston remain perfect and remain on top of the East Division. Toronto going 0 for 2 on the weekend, dropping the game on Friday to the DC Breeze, and now today falling short against Boston Glory. We'll be searching for answers as they've hit the midway point of the UFA season.
A good fight from Toronto, but when you got the defending champions in the house, they're showing what it takes to be a winning squad. Tied at half, like we said, holding a small lead heading into the fourth, and they're able to deliver, and doing so off the back of Lander DeCrana. 2 assists, 2 goals, and a block to his name. It made an impact on both sides of the field, running through for blocks. Can also find the end zone too. That was actually for the bookends earlier on in the game, and he's a good safety valve to have also out in the deep space.
2 assists, 2 goals, and a block for Lander DeCrana. Also tied with Orion Cable, where the team lead in plus minus was +5 on the day. Lander DeCrana, one of our players to watch heading into the match, also takes home Player of the Game honors in what was a spirited first half. And in the second, the Glory showed their championship medal and really locked in, outscoring the Toronto Rush 11-9 in this second half. The going got tough, the tough got going. And the Boston Glory stay perfect in the regular season.
For Toronto, you're coming off not necessarily a back-to-back. You did play on Friday, but did show some battle here, but it was Boston who was able to reign supreme, and what a showing from them as they walk into Toronto, get the hard-earned victory.
And once again, Wendy Wang is sidelined with Lander DeCrana.
Hey guys, we're good whenever you guys are. We're here with Lander DeCrana from today's game as player of the match. Lander, right before this game, we talked about your new nickname, Shadow Boy, and now that you're player of the match and Boston took the win, what emotions are going through your head?
I mean, it's fun to win. It was a nice game. I love the sun, I love the crowd. The city's pretty cool, so I've just been enjoying myself.
That's amazing. That's great to hear. Toronto's weather's not always like this, so we're very happy you got to experience it. As well as today was a very close game for the first 3 quarters until the final. Was there any conversation in the halftime in the locker room that have driven this success for Boston?
I mean, we were always certain we would be good until the end, and we just played like we wrote it up, and I mean, we got the dub, so that's pretty cool, I think.
That's amazing. And for Toronto today, was there anything about them that surprised you? Did the way they play surprise you?
Not really. I mean, they like their shots, and we like our deep defense, so I think it's a pretty good matchup. The weather definitely helped them win some of them, but yeah, no, I like the game very much. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Launder. Congratulations on the win. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Wenny, and thank you, Launder, our player of the game. Launder DeCrana making things happen on both sides, offense and defense, and the Glory continue to roll. 18-16 is our final score. Looking at the Glory and what they've been able to do in the early goings of the season, it seems like that will only continue as the UFA season continues.
They did this without a couple of their big-time players as well, like a Tyler Chan, Nathaniel Dick as well. So being able to put on this performance, coming on the road, hostile territory, you see the edge and breaks, that was the key there. Turnovers were a little bit similar, Toronto having a few more. And Toronto, of course, we talked about playing with no fear, and they did so by upping their huck percentage and the amount that they were looking deep in this game. But ultimately, Boston coming down with the victory. Toronto hard fought, but that doesn't show up in the standings. They'll fall to 3-3. Boston up to 5-0 in the East. And they'll be set up for a huge matchup with New York on Friday.
Once again, Adam Hunt and Theo Wan with Wenny Wang, our sideline reporter as well, from all of us here at Varsity Stadium. We thank you so much for watching on UFA TV and on YouTube with CBC Sports. It's Boston 18, Toronto 16, your final score. We'll see you next time.
And I think the pitch is easy. It's like you want to be a professional ultimate Frisbee player, you want to like put as much into this game as you can, then like you should come to New York.
Jeff, what's the ideal number of points for you to play in a game like tonight, knowing that you have another game coming tomorrow?
I'll play every single point. It doesn't matter how many.